Hey guys, good morning. Hope you're having a great day so far. I am up. It's not quite sunrise and I'm gonna go shoot the skyline. I swear, sometimes it just feels like morning. I got up at 6 and I'm a morning person. I love getting up and getting out, but golly, this morning I'm moving a little slow. I can't even say the word little, I said little. And I've already had some caffeine. I'm gonna need some more. The Hyatt's right there, they've got a Starbucks inside, so I think after I shoot this skyline, I'm gonna have to go over there and get some more. But anyway, I move a little slow. I got out of the car and said, all right, let me grab my tripod. Couldn't find the plate that attaches the tripod to the camera. I already had it on the camera, didn't know it. Then I started vlogging and was talking along. Didn't have the microphone on the camera, so I had to start that over. So it's one of those kind of mornings. But regardless of all that, it's still a good morning because I'm out shooting, and that's always fun. Now I'm shooting the skyline for a particular reason, and I've shot it literally dozens of times over the years. I mean, this is Austin. I've been down here so many times, and I love skylines and cityscapes. But I'm shooting because I have a client this week who's coming into town, and they hired me to be their photo guide, and they want to shoot sunset. Now this is sunrise, so obviously the light's going to be different, but they wanted to shoot the skyline and some city shots, and I think this is the best place to shoot the skyline from, because we got a river that runs in front of it, so you get some nice reflections. And so I thought I'd better come out and scout a little bit, because I don't know if you can tell, there's a lot of this construction. There's also South by Southwest has been going on here, so there's just a lot of stuff. It's hard to park, all those kind of things. So anyway, I just want to scout it out so that I know what I'm doing, and I know that the places that I think my client would best like to shoot the skyline from are actually available. So it's a scouting mission. So shooting skylines and cities is like one of my favorite subjects, and you know, apart from the obvious tip of like make sure you bring the right gear and stuff, and frankly figure out where your tripod plate is, you know, I think bring a couple of different lenses. I'm shooting with a zoom here today, which is my 24 to 240. I recommend also having a wide angle, because you never know how close or far you're going to be. I mean, unless you know the area well. In this case, I only brought the zoom because I know this spot really well. But I recommend those two lenses. But the other thing really for me is, you know, and this is kind of a given with any kind of photography, and that is go when the light's best. Now, my opinion is shoot it at sunrise, but of course sunrise or sunset are generally good. But the reason I like sunrise is because it's quiet and it's not crowded, right? So like you can get to these places and, you know, it's just normally during the day there's gonna be dogs jumping in the lake here, chasing tennis balls and people talking and all that. Nothing wrong with it, it's totally fine. It's just, I don't know, I prefer the more peaceful moments, I guess. Also, like people always think, oh, sunset, that'll be great. And I do think it's great, but I think blue hour personally is better with a city like this, especially when you have reflections, because those lights are gonna show up, I think, better in the blue. And I'm doing these like, you know, 5 to 10 second exposures, and I think the water's smooth, the lights are twinkly and sparkly and just look great. So I think blue hour with the skyline, especially if you have a reflection, is the best, simply because of the lights, the contrast between the bright lights and sometimes the darker blue of the sky. It just looks great. And of course, another tip is, of course, to get there early, simply because the light does change, and it can change rapidly. In the case of sunrise, sunrise itself is not scheduled for another 15 or 20 minutes, but you probably can't tell through the video, but it started getting pretty bright, and the best blue hour shooting is behind me. So I had maybe 15 minutes to shoot and get some nice, you know, longer exposure blue hour shots with the skyline sparkling and twinkling, as I said. But I'm already past that point, and now I'm just waiting for sunrise. And I don't know if you can tell here, but you know, I'm not going to have really much of a sunrise, so that the light's not beautiful or amazing. We'll see what happens when the sun actually does rise, which is going to be back over this way. maybe the colors will pop and I'll get some nice color out of it, but right now it's not looking that great. And so it's another reason I think get there early, because if you can do the blue hour thing in the morning before sunrise, at the very least, like blue hour is gonna be blue, right? Sunrise is not always gonna be orange, but blue hour is pretty much always gonna be blue. One of the other, I think, interesting things to do in scenes like this is to shoot in portrait mode. I shoot in landscape mode, right, with my camera horizontal, I don't know, like 97.6% of the time or something. I mean, like a really high percentage. And it's just my preferred sort of view, if you will. But scenes like this, when you have these tall buildings, I think can look great when you turn the camera the other way and go for that vertical look. So I got a few shots like that this morning, but that's another reason to bring the zoom, is because the zoom is going to let you tighten in on those, whereas a wide angle you're not going to be able to get quite as close. Again, depending on how you're situated, I'm a pretty good ways across the river, so I need the zoom in this case. But something to think about, and it's nice to sometimes shift your perspective and look at them through a portrait mode as opposed to in your typical landscape fashion. And sometimes the shots look really good. Sometimes they don't work out, but it's always worth trying, right? Okay, well, sunrise is a couple of minutes away. There's a little bit of color, so we'll see what happens. And in the meantime, I'm hanging out with my friend Stevie Ray Vaughan. Well, it actually ended up that sunrise actually had some decent light to it, so it kind of worked out pretty nice, which is awesome. And I'm about done here. I've scouted some ideas for my client, which is really why I came out. And as you can probably see over here, there's a Starbucks, and I think it's time to get some fuel. I'll see you later. Adios.